Hopefully the microphone is cutting out the fucking robot vac. This video, we're going to talk about what you guys think about cartridges. So about a week ago, I posted a photo and a question onto YouTube community. What's your favorite cartridge and why? And this is what you guys said. Let's just start at the top, work our way down, and we'll have a bit of a talk about what you guys reckon about cartridges. Right, Outdoorsman says 270. His reason being, it's flat, easy on the shoulder, takes almost everything with a well-placed shot, and is cheap and easy enough to get. Love your videos, bro. Shaka. No, thank you, mate. I also like the 270. It's quite old these days, though. Came out in the 1920s. I think 1924 off the top of my head. Google it. 270 is one of those calibers that is kind of overlooked a fair bit. And when I say 270 is a caliber, I mean the caliber of the bullet, not the cartridge itself. Because you have, off the top of my head, not including all the wildcat random shit, but we have obviously the 270 Winchester, which I'm assuming what this bloke is talking about, 270 Wisdom, you have 6.8 Western, and that's really about it. It may see a resurgence now that we have 6.8 NATO, also known as 277 Fury. That might kick a few people in the pants to build more cartridges based around the 270. I think the reason why the 270 isn't that popular is you can get a higher BC with the same weight bullet in a 6.5, and you can get pretty much the same BC with more weight and harder hitting in the 7mm. So I think that's why 270 isn't really that popular, but I would like to see some people come out with some more 270 cartridges. All right, the next one is from Aaron, and he says 22. It's cheap and abundant, perfect cartridge for taking out cans. Yes, if you're plinking 22 long rifle is the strat. There's another bloke here, Mickey Davey. Can you do an episode explaining the difference in cartridge types? And then he goes on to say like full metal jacket, ballistic, high velocity, etc., and how to pick them. I'm going to do a full video on that, but in short, you're kind of asking a weird question in terms of common vernacular. A full metal jacket is a type of projectile. Ballistic, I'm assuming you mean ballistic tip, like a Nosler ballistic tip, also known as a polymer tip. I'm assuming that's what you mean. And high velocity, yeah, you're asking about, you know, high velocity, like you've got a 22 high velocity and 22 standard velocity. Are you asking that sort of question? Or are you asking about velocity bands? So, for you, Mickey, drop a comment, clarify what you want, and I will do a full video on that. Mackenzie Morris, 22 long rifle, not only a classic, but it's super cheap, reliable, and underrated. I would say it's not underrated. I'm pretty sure that there's going to be a hell of a lot more people saying 22 long rifle in the comments here. Yeah, not underrated, everyone rates it, I'm pretty sure. Maybe in terms of hunting, potentially, but you wouldn't really hunt with a 22 unless you're shooting rabbits and cats. All right, here's another one. William Moore. Hard to beat the 22 long rifle, but the recent edition of the 257 Weatherby Magnum is close to taking the cake. That is an obscure one because not many people say Weatherby cartridges because they are proprietary and fucking expensive, but I like where your head's at. 257 is a pretty good one. Like the this 270s, the 25 caliber cartridges, aren't that many of them out there. 2506, 2506 if you're a fucking yank, is pretty cool. 25303 or 3325, whichever way you want to say it, is a pretty good cartridge as well. But there's not really that many 25s out there. So yeah, more 25s, that'd be cool. Adam O, who's also a Patreon, so he's pretty much commented this twice because he commented it on Patreon as well because I asked the question over there. And he said 30-30 Winchester in a lever action is fun to shoot and can take the game I want to take. And that's a good point because you want to have a cartridge, how am I going to say this? And that's a good point. 30-30 isn't so powerful, it's not very powerful at all really, but if it kills what you want it to kill, then you don't need to step up to anything that recoils harder, shoots further, etc, etc. Know what you're hunting and match your cartridge to what you're hunting. I like where your head's at, Adam. Good work. All right, Jack Smith, 308 Winchester, proven and it just works. I personally actually fucking hate 308 Winchester. Well, hate's probably a strong word. To me, 308 Winchester is the Holden Commodore of cartridges. Some people think it's really awesome. Other people think it's really shit. Everyone else is sort of in the middle of like, well, you know, it does get you from A to B. You can't deny that. Samsung Depacto, however the fuck you pronounce that. 303. You've just got to love the old Warhorse. Rather that or 3006. Can you believe those crazy Yanks shot it in a semi-auto with the M1? I don't really know what you mean by that, because the M1 is fucking heavy, which means that it would actually recoil less in that than in a SMLE 303. So yeah, they are pretty crazy. They're also shooting a lighter bullet, being a 150 grain bullet, going 2,700 feet per second, whereas, you know, a 303 is 174, I believe, off the top of my head, going about 25. And a lighter rifle, so it would probably recoil about the same. Recoil impulse in the M1 would be slightly higher because it has reciprocating mass, because it's semi-automatic, but it's not that bad to shoot, just so you know. Ryan Murphy says 6.5 by 55 Swede because it flogs the Creed and is over 100 years old. I like where your head's at. 6.5 by 55 is an excellent cartridge. If you watched my 6.5 fallow hunting cartridge video, I mentioned that one as well. Pretty bloody good. I like the 6.5 Swede. You should too. Dougal McAlpine, 308. Versatile for ammo, is inherently accurate with a broad range of loads and long range enough. The recoil is mild enough for shit. For shit hits the fan, then 12 gauge. Yep, okay. I will go on the record and say that if I could only own one firearm ever, it would be a 12 gauge shotgun, because you can do pretty much everything with it, just very fucking hard. And when I say pretty much everything, I'm a hunter, so I can hunt pretty much everything with a 12 gauge. You whack some 50 cal Sabo in there, she's pretty bloody good. Once again, 308, Commodore, it's the Commodore. Andrew Martin says 12 gauge, lots of light options. I like where your head's at, Andrew. As I just said, 12 gauge, pretty good. Whizbang. Oh man, this is such a hard question. I think the 375 H&H wouldn't shoot it a lot, but it always makes me giggle like a schoolgirl. 375 H&H is a pretty cool cartridge. It is also over 100 years old. Rabin BF, 270 just seems elegant, but he does love the 22 LR. Cheap as chips and sold in buckets. Refer back to previous comments about both of those cartridges, 270 and 22 LR. Lorem Ipsum, with a sweet profile picture of someone sitting in a bath with a fucking rifle. 50 BMG rat shot. I will say no more. Sure, why not? Tom Zimmerman, 223/556. Why? Just because. Great all round, common and inexpensive cartridge. Yeah, I'll give you that. It is pretty common. It is inexpensive. I wouldn't really say a great all-rounder because it's pretty shit for hunting, if you're hunting big things anyway. But, you know, I'll give you that. And the last one here is Cameron B, 303 British, and that is it. So from Patreon, Luke has said 325 Wisdom is his favourite. He's a hand loader. You can't buy factory 325 Wisdom. It's essentially a 300 Wisdom necked up to 325, being an 8mm cartridge. In his words, 8mm just sounds better than 7mm, and you can't really fault that. I haven't looked too far into the ballistics of 325, but it seems like it's pretty good. It's halfway between your 300s and your 358s. I'm a massive fan of 358s, so it's that middle ground where it's hitting pretty fucking hard, but it's got flatter trajectory than the 358s. If you look at it like that, that's a good way to compare it. That's your thoughts on cartridges. Not one fucking person in here mentioned 7 Rem Mag, which is my favourite cartridge. So that's pretty annoying. But anyway, I'll keep my opinions to myself. I hope you enjoyed that video. I'll see you next time, and hooroo.